They said the storm would swallow the island whole. But that night, one woman's faith shone brighter than the lightning itself. The year was 1894. Far out in the northern sea stood a small lighthouse, lonely, cold, and battered by endless waves. Inside lived a man named Thomas Hale, the island's lightkeeper, and his only daughter, Eliza. Eliza had grown up with the sea, its sounds, its moods, its storms. She knew that her father's light was more than fire and glass. It was hope for every sailor out there in the dark. Her mother used to say, "A lightkeeper's job is not to fight the storm. It's to remind others that home is still there, waiting." That winter the ocean had been cruel. Ships vanished without a trace, supplies were delayed, and when the first signs of the great storm of '94 appeared, the sea roaring louder than thunder, even Thomas, the man who'd braved 100 tempests, looked uneasy. He coughed, weak from fever, and said to his daughter, "Eliza, if the storm comes tonight, you must keep the light burning. Do not let it die." She nodded, but fear gripped her heart. The wind outside howled like a beast, rattling every window. And as dusk fell, the ocean turned black, a monstrous, endless dark. By midnight, the storm hit with full fury. Waves slammed against the cliffs, lightning split the sky, and rain came down like knives. The lighthouse groaned under the weight of the wind. Eliza climbed the spiral staircase, clutching the railing with trembling hands. Her father lay below, too weak to move. When she reached the top, the lantern flame flickered, the last light in a world of darkness. Then came the sound she feared most. Crack! A wave smashed through the lower doors, flooding the floor. The oil can fell, spilling half its contents. For a moment, the light dimmed, and in that instant, Eliza remembered every sailor her father had spoken of, men who trusted this light to guide them home, men who might even now be fighting for their lives. She whispered through tears, "Lord, give me strength, not for me, but for them." All night long, she fought. She carried buckets to keep the flame alive, her hands raw from the cold. Each gust of wind tried to snuff out the light, but she shielded it with her body, her coat, her prayers. At one point, lightning struck the tower's roof. The walls shook, a glass pane shattered, cutting her cheek. Blood ran down her face, mixing with rain, but she did not stop. She whispered her mother's words again and again like a hymn. "We don't fight the storm. We keep the light burning." By dawn, the storm had passed. The sea was calm again, exhausted like a giant that had finally gone to sleep. Eliza stumbled outside, weak and drenched, and saw wreckage scattered along the shore, broken barrels, torn sails, and 3 sailors, alive, crawling toward land. One of them, shivering and wide-eyed, said, "We saw the light. When all else was gone, we followed it. It saved us." Tears filled Eliza's eyes. She looked back at the lighthouse still standing, its flames still burning, faint but steady. Her father, too weak to speak, took her hand and whispered, "You kept the light, my brave, beloved girl." That night, Eliza became known as the Lightkeeper's daughter, not for her strength or for her courage alone, but for her faith. Because real bravery isn't about fighting the storm. It's about believing your light still matters, even when the world turns dark. In a world full of storms, be someone's light, because faith doesn't stop the waves. It helps others find their way home. For more powerful stories of courage and hope, subscribe to VHR Stories.